Have you ever been called crazy for dreaming too big? Or felt out of place as a young adult, lost, staying up all night for something most people would never understand? Tonight, on Motivational Success Stories, let's uncover a story that proves there are no limits for those who dare to try. This is the story of a nerdy kid, clacking away on his laptop in a Harvard dorm, who believed that connecting people could actually change the world. Yup, you guessed it. I'm talking about Mark Zuckerberg and the meteoric rise of Facebook. So grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's get inspired together. Part 1. Humble Beginnings, the Dorm Room Dreamer. It all started back in 2004, in a cramped room at Harvard University. Imagine being a freshman, feeling like a small fish in the biggest pond you've ever seen. While most kids partied on weekends, Mark Zuckerberg was glued to his computer, brewing ideas about connection. But make no mistake, Mark wasn't suave, popular, or even especially outgoing. He was the quiet guy, not the star quarterback. What set him apart? His absolute obsession with building things, creating code, solving problems, pushing boundaries. Now picture this. One night, Mark launched a cheeky website called FaceMash. It let Harvard students rate how attractive their peers were. In classic college prank style, word spread like wildfire across campus. The whole thing was mostly innocent fun, right up until the university shut it down for privacy reasons. But here's the key. Instead of giving up, Mark saw something bigger. Everyone was hooked not by the looks, but by the desire to connect, to see and be seen, to know and be known. Mark later said, "The question isn't, what do we want to know about people? It's, what do people want to tell about themselves?" That's the spark. He realized people crave connection. They want to share, to belong. So Mark, along with fellow students Dustin Moskovitz, Chris Hughes, and Eduardo Savarine, got to work. By February, the Facebook was born. A simple student directory, but one powered by this big idea. Everyone wants to matter. At first, it was just Harvard, but college students everywhere started begging for access. Yale, Columbia, Stanford. Mark was on to something monumental. Can you imagine missing the party because you didn't have a Facebook account? That's what happened at college campuses across the country. Facebook swept like wildfire. Suddenly, connection was just a click away. Part 2. The first big risk, leaving Harvard behind. Would you have left Harvard to pursue a crazy dream? Most people would call you foolish, maybe even insane. But that's exactly what Mark did. He dropped out, not because of bad grades, but because his vision wouldn't let him sit still. Mark believed the mission was too important, too urgent. He says, "If you just work on stuff that you're passionate about, you don't have to have a master plan for how things will play out." That willingness to embrace uncertainty and follow your heart is a lesson for all of us. Mark packed his bags and headed to Palo Alto, California, home to Silicon Valley, where giants like Apple and Google had been born. He moved in with a crew of friends, crammed into a rented house that doubled as Facebook's first headquarters. Days bled into nights, caffeine, code, and endless ambition. Let that sink in. No fancy office, no huge investment. Just a handful of young visionaries chasing one powerful idea, connecting the world. Part 3. Storms of doubt, rivers of determination, lawsuits, and big tech rivalry. But don't be fooled. Mark's journey wasn't all late-night pizza and glory. Facebook was challenged at every turn. MySpace was already huge. Yahoo! And Google seemed unbeatable. And then, legal trouble. Remember the Winklevoss twins? They claimed Mark had stolen their idea and took him to court. Suddenly, the project Mark loved was mired in lawsuits, negative press, and bitter old friends. If you've ever had people doubt your motives or question your integrity, you know how tough that feels. For Mark, the pressure was massive. Betrayal, public scrutiny, and the threat of collapse loomed every day. Some days, Facebook barely scraped by with just enough money in the bank to survive another week. But Mark kept his focus clear. He refused to back down. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. These weren't just clever quotes. Mark was living them, betting everything on an idea that most people thought was just for college kids. Part 4. Genius Innovation, Reinventing Social Connection. One of Mark's greatest gifts was the courage to disrupt his own creation. While Facebook started as a basic directory, Mark wasn't content. Instead of just letting people make profiles, he introduced the news feed. It was revolutionary, a constantly updating stream of what your friends were posting, liking, sharing. At first, people hated it. Too much information. Where's my privacy? But within a year, users were hooked. Ask yourself, when was the last time you went a day without scrolling Facebook or checking notifications? That's the news feed legacy. It cracked the code. Keep people coming back, over and over. Facebook became much more than a website. It was the place where people shared baby pictures, wedding announcements, heartbreak, tragedy, triumph. Across oceans, across languages, the world became a little smaller, a little kinder, a little more open. By 2007, Facebook had millions of users. Big-name investors, from Peter Thiel to Accel Partners, started pouring in money. Mark, a 23-year-old college dropout, became one of America's youngest self-made billionaires. Part 5. Bold Moves, Buying Instagram and WhatsApp. If you think the story ends there, think again. Other leaders might have kicked back, counted their billions, and enjoyed their success. Not Mark. He never stopped looking forward. He noticed something everyone else missed. Instagram was exploding in popularity among young people. Instead of competing, Mark bought Instagram for $1 billion. People called him crazy. Instagram barely made any money, just 13 employees at the time. The same thing happened with WhatsApp. Mark shelled out nearly $20 billion to acquire it, a jaw-dropping figure. His logic? If you want to go fast, move fast and break things. Unless you're breaking stuff, you're not moving fast enough. These weren't just gambles. They were visionary bets on products that could change the way the world communicates. And he was right. Today, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp dominate global conversations, shaping economies, cultures, elections, and daily life everywhere. Part 6. Building a New World. Facebook's massive impact. Fast forward to today. Nearly 3 billion people log into Facebook every month. It reaches more people than any TV channel, any newspaper, any other website, ever. But Facebook isn't just a platform. It built an entire ecosystem. New careers, new influencers, online marketing, support groups for everything from rare diseases to entrepreneurship. It helped spark the Arab Spring and gave ordinary citizens the power to be heard, for better or worse. Let's get real. Has Facebook been perfect? Number. It's faced huge criticism. Fake news, privacy concerns, mental health worries. Mark has testified before Congress and had to reinvent safety, trust, and data practices, often on the fly. But love it or hate it, Facebook has changed how humanity connects and communicates. It's erased distance, brought families together, created online communities, and even started revolutions. What other product can say that? Part 7. Personal lessons for all of us. If you remember anything from Mark Zuckerberg's journey, let it be this. 1. Start with passion and purpose. Mark didn't set out to get rich or famous. He wanted to solve a real problem, help people feel seen, heard, valued. 2. Don't fear failure. His first project was shut down by Harvard. He was sued, ridiculed, doubted. Each failure was a stepping stone. 3. Keep learning, keep pivoting. Facebook was never static. The team kept building, iterating, sometimes completely changing direction when they had to. Mark was never satisfied with good enough. 4. Stay true to your values. When the world mocked connecting people, Mark called it a mission. He didn't chase profit at all costs. When Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus appeared, he focused on the future, not the quarter. 5. Take big, smart risks. Mark's philosophy. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. Has made ripples way beyond tech. It's a rule of life. Here's a fourth wall moment. How often have you held back because you were afraid of falling short? What's your Facebook idea that you've never acted on? Mark didn't let fear win. He started and kept moving forward. Part 8. From Boston to the world, what Zuckerberg means to America. There's something uniquely American about Mark's story. In this country, no two dreams look alike. Your background doesn't have to define your future. Mark's parents were dentists, not tech moguls. He loved ancient Roman literature as much as JavaScript. Harvard gave him an education, but it was grit, risk, and vision that changed his life and ours. His journey is part of a tradition. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. Stories of outsiders and misfits, kids in garages and basements, who believed so fiercely in a better world that they pulled all of us along for the ride. But Mark's story isn't just for history books. It's happening right now. New college graduates still invent world-changing tech in tiny apartments. The next Facebook could be growing up in a coffee shop in Boise or inside a community college dorm anywhere in America. Part 9. The human side, struggle, pressure, and growth. Let's get personal. Success isn't just billion-dollar deals. Even for Mark, it meant losing friends, being called ruthless, and dealing with massive public scrutiny, sometimes just for doing the right thing. No family is perfect. Mark married his longtime girlfriend, Priscilla Chan, after years of balancing his workaholic life with personal growth. He gives billions to science, education, and charity, but is still criticized no matter what he does. Perhaps that's the final lesson. You're never done. The world is always watching. You have to keep evolving, keep asking tough questions of yourself, and never let fear or cynicism win. Mark once said, "Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. You don't need the answer. You just need the courage to begin." Part 10. Your turn. Ignite your own story. So tonight, what are you building? Your Facebook might not look like Mark's. It could be a movement, a business, a song, a family, a local nonprofit. It might fail 1,000 times before it sticks. But if you do it with heart, curiosity, and resilience, who knows? You could be the next American success story people tell for generations. And if you're feeling small or facing doubters, remember Mark's words. The question isn't, what do we want to know about people? It's, what do people want to tell about themselves? So, what story will you tell? What will you create? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Mark Zuckerberg's incredible journey with Facebook. If you found value in this story, please hit that like button, subscribe for more tales of ambition and grit, and share your own dreams below. Who knows, your story could inspire millions. Until next time, this is Motivational Success Stories, reminding you, the world moves forward on the shoulders of dreamers. Stay curious, stay relentless. The next legend might just be you.